Hello and welcome Universe Mode. This is NXT. Yes, it's the Christmas Eves and many things are happening in some world. But yes, we are here today for NXT, live as always from Orlando, Florida, because that's what we do apparently. So, we're going to kick things off with the thing that we saw before, the sock, the Slater Open Challenge, or the Social Outcasts, depending on which way you look at it. Anyway, today on NXT, unfortunately, from this very cold tent in Orlando, it is just me, Living Legend Lives Crisco, as JDL decided he didn't want to be in a cold tent on Christmas Eve. What a gook. But, yeah, I'm now on my own. It's freezing. I'm in a dressing gown, and Freight Train is giving me some weird eyes. Nevertheless, we are here, NXT still going strong on Christmas Eve, because it doesn't matter, because no one shows up to the shows anyway. And all of these people, the majority of them are so bad, they don't deserve Christmases. But, as things get underway here, yes, Heath Slater, with his Slater Open Challenge. Didn't go well last time. Last time he had Undertaker to deal with. So hopefully, Heath Slater, in his mind, can find someone weaker on NXT for him to get a little bit of success from. But, I mean, with how NXT is shaping up recently, that might be a little bit difficult. But let's see who Slater has to deal. Oh no. Well, forget what I said. No success is on its way for Heath Slater, as he now has to deal with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Well, that changes everything as Stone Cold heads towards the ring now, ready to beat up Heath Slater for a bit. This is the first time we've seen Stone Cold, I think, since the Battle Royal for the NXT Championship, in which I believe he was eliminated by Cedric Alexander, of all people. Well, here we go, Austin making his proper NXT debut in the NXT tent, and now, oh boy, well, this is going to be an eventful evening for Heath Slater. But yeah, there is many different things going on in NXT as Stone Cold stands up on all four corners. Yeah, we have, if you saw what happened last week, we still have an NXT champion. We still have the NXT champion in Chris Sabin. But we also have something else. Something that we have no idea what it is right now. Sabin, Bram, and Daniels attacking the Undertaker to close out the show with whatever that graphic was to do with the clock, which has something to do with them. I don't know what they did last week in order to enable the success for them to hold on to that title, but you can imagine the Undertaker is going to want to be getting his hands on a member of that new group or whatever it is. Undertaker, I'm not too sure if he's in the arena here tonight or not. You never know with the Undertaker. But but tonight anyway on NXT, we're going to have after this Apollo Crews taking on Edge. Christopher Daniels is in action. His opponent currently unknown because we're NXT and the sheet of paper have been handed on. His opponent was scribbled in crayon. And for the main event, Roode, the first NXT champion, will take on the current NXT champion in Chris Sabin. Sabin, who seems like he's going to have Bram in his corner as well. So there we go, just as a heads up. But as is NXT, I don't really want to talk a lot about NXT because this is a show that I don't really want to do on my own because, yes, it's to do with people who haven't done that well in this universe or on new debuts to this universe, but, this is after the end of a long week of recording Universe and the stuff, and you do all the shows, you travel across the country, and then you just don't want to do this. And I don't want to do this. I want to be snuggled up by a fire doing Christmas things like sleeping. But instead I'm watching two half-naked men beat up each other. What more can I ask for? Well, there's Austin anyway. He's beating the living shit out of Heath Slater. What a surprise. Slater probably regretting doing this. Third place! That's the most excitement you'll get out of me today. Oh my god. Press! Well, there you go. There's Austin beating him up. He's done some stuff. He's now going to Coco Beware him into the mat. Oh, Heath Slater's career could indeed still be continuing. The scenes. The scenes. Oh, he broke his jaw. That's it. It's the end. Oh, he smacks it away. Oh, Steiner! Steiner! Austin! 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 Oh, the scenes. Well, Stone Cold Stunner. He drags Heath Slater away from the ropes. He pins Heath Slater. He 1s. He 2s. And he... Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, the Stone Cold Stunner now the worst move in professional wrestling, as we've officially just seen a man with kids kick out of them. Oh, there's a kick to the gut by Heath Slater. Oh, he misses a punch. Oh, he gets forearmed. Oh my god, it's... Oh, look at this by Slater. He does a neck breaker. And Slater now has become Raven, apparently. Wow, the scenes. This is only... You can only get this kind of action here on NXT. Look at it. Up in the air. Oh, he was reversed the suplex. Steiner! Steiner! Austin! 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 1, 2. Steve Austin wins. Woo! The step to going home. The road to going home gets closer and closer now with this win being happened. Steve Austin and his NXT debut picks up the win of Heath Slater. You know, in a more serious note, I know Steve Austin probably doesn't care about what's going on regarding Sabin, Daniels, and Bram, but if there was someone to fight against them, Steve Austin would probably be one of the most dominant forces to put up a fight against this new group, whoever they are. But Heath Slater at least has been able to roll outside of the ring, so congratulations to him for being able to do that. Well, there you go. As Stone Cold celebrates his victory. Is this the last NXT of the year? It isn't. The next NXT is New Year's Eve. Ah, great. Right, well, there you go. Here's Steve Austin. He's standing there. He's doing stuff, and now we move on to our next contest. Cedric Alexander and Edge. Why did I say Cedric Alexander? He was on my mind. It's not Cedric Alexander. It's Apollo Crews.
You think you know?
Wow. They both dress in green. You know, these are common mistakes that people make. And it's NXT, so who really gives a shit? Where's Edge? There he is, right. You know, I understand that, you know, NXT could be a delightful show, but I really want this place to burn to the ground, so don't let me down, Edge. It's still standing. Oh my god, I'm so done. Right. Edge heads towards the ring with his sassy walk. Not really all that much I can say about it. His NXT career has gone well. I can't remember how many times he's lost. I think it's... Well, I guess it's... I think it's twice in actual, you know, matches, excluding the Battle Royal. I believe he lost... Because he lost to Rick Rude in the first official NXT, and then he lost to the Undertaker? No, he lost to Christian. Yes, he lost to Christian. That was right. So he's got that going for him. Edge, though, could get his career, you know, I think he's on, might be on 2 losses in a row. No, he's not, definitely not on 2 losses in a row. But, you know, he might be able to get that loss sorted out and get himself back on track with a win over Apollo Crews, who made his debut last week, and I thought Terry Crews had signed. He's showing his name, and he's pointing to me. Yep, your name is Apollo Crews. I have learned that now. And you dress in yellow, apparently, and not green. How disappointing. Well, you know what? That's not my fault, Apollo Crews. Everything else about you is green. You decided to dress in yellow. You bring these problems upon yourself, my friend. You're not my friend. I don't know you. 7. There we go. Apollo Crews, anyway. As you can see, I mean, it was a good debut he made last week against Noam Dar, and I'm already talking too much about NXT. I really want this show to come to an end. Can you tell already? I just want to go to bed. That's all I want. All I want for Christmas is sleep. Here we go. Up and over. Look at that. Wow, we really got some hang time there. And it's over. There we go. Yeah, Apollo Crews. you know, it's still too early to say stuff about Apollo Crews because he's so early into his career, really. You've only had 1 match in this universe. You got a win over Noam Dar, who's been quite a success since joining NXT. And that's kind of all I can say. Right, well, here we go. Edge, Crews, bell rings. Big match for Apollo Crews, taking on a man who is 2-time world champion, former United States champion, and is looking for the win right off of that DDT. Go on, make my Christmas. Never mind. Right, well, looks like we got a match going on then. Edge looking for some sort of electric chair into a facebuster. Interesting. I mean, you know, the main thing that the NXT lot have got to watch out for now is when they're getting all these wins and they're gunning themselves towards the top, they have this group to worry about. You saw what this group was capable of last week, you know. They grounded the Undertaker firmly. I know Undertaker had been in a match with Sabin, but for the most part, Taker had been in control. So for them to just ground the Undertaker as they had, and then beat him up and just leave him laying there as the show came to an end, kind of shows the dominance of this new group. They might not, you know, physically look the most controlling of controlling trio, the most physically, I don't know what the word is. Physically thingy, you know, scary, that kind of word. Trio, but you know, they have their ways, and whatever they, you know, however they tend to help each other out with that spinning clock or whatever it is, obviously it worked. We saw it last week work out well, and as NXT came to a confusing end, we've had nothing really answered over the week regarding it. Sabin, Bram, and Daniels are kind of going to a recluse once the show ends, and you don't see them until the next episode of NXT, and even then you don't really see them until their matches come around. So clearly they are a unified trio, just waiting on if they have a name or what their purpose is or anything along those lines. So we've got some interesting times going on in NXT, despite the fact that this show was supposed to be a piss take. Meanwhile, back on the match, Edge and Apollo Crews have actually been quite a bit of Apollo Crews in this match, to be fair. Edge has been a little bit weaker off the start. There we go, back suplex now by the Rated R Superstar. Dragging Apollo Crews away from the ropes. Gonna look for another cover here as Edge. This time he only gets a 1 count, better than the no count he got before. Edge trying to go to work on the neck, trying to wear down Crews now. Maybe trying to soften up the Edge for the execution, because obviously you don't need the head for the spear. Oh, speak of it, Edge nails the execution down onto Crews. Can Crews' momentum be brought to a halt this quickly? Cover by Edge. 1, 2, no. I don't get paid enough for this shit. Wrenching on that neck. Wrenching on that neck. La 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 la. Run out of things to say. Oh, here we go. Edge is in the corner. He's calling Apollo Crews up to his feet. Apollo kind of turns towards him. Spear by Edge. He nails it. Crews might be down and out here. 1, 2, no. No, he's not. Alright, well, there you go. This match still continuing on as Edge has been in control, it has to be said, for some time now. You can kind of see the inexperience of Crews starting to form as, you know, once he started taking offense, it was incredibly difficult for him to start dishing it out again. Crews, though, trying to bring that to a halt, trying to get himself back in this matchup now. Nice suplex by Crews. Still got a lot of work to do, though. Crews went for a stab of Enziguri, and Edge moved out of the way. Quick roll there by Crews. Interesting scenes. Though Edge, being the being the veteran that he is in the ring, he is able to keep Crews down. He is able to have his way with him. You saw Crews do a little bit of taunting there. That may have cost him. Edge now with the educator, I think. Something along those lines. 1, 2, and 3. Look at that. One little tiny mistake by Apollo Crews, and Edge capped onto it. Victory for Edge there. And who knows? I mean, I just talked about Austin potentially being a fighting threat. Edge could be one if he wants to be. We have got, you know, a lot of people on NXT who, if they want to, can fight against this new group. And I mean, if you were to have a trio of Edge, Austin, and The Undertaker, you could seriously see those three having some major difficulties in the future being able to hold on to that NXT Championship. There you go, Edge celebrating his victory, and Apollo Crews has still got a bit of work to do before he can become maybe a liable threat to this universe. Wow. We saw the clock. Saw it tick up to 12, and oh my god. I don't know if Christopher Daniels has just nicked some military fatigues or whatever, but he's coming out in some sort of army getup. Heading towards the ring now alone. No other members of this new trio with him. Perhaps Daniels wanted to deal with this one on his own, but obviously, like I said, no comment from the trio as to what happened last week. So I can't tell you if it was them, if it's what the purpose of this group is, what the name of this group is, why they did what they did, if they're going to do it again. We know absolutely none of that. So this is the fun part of it all. But here we go. Daniel set to go to one-on-one action here. He seems brimming with confidence right now. And I mean, to be fair, if you were able to hit an Angel's Wings onto the Undertaker last week, I would actually be feeling a little bit confident, but I'd also be feeling a little bit worried, because you never know when the Lord of the Dark Side might want to pop his head around and make you one of his issues. Oh, he's gonna make he's gonna make him one of his issues right now. The Undertaker is in the arena. He is here in NXT, and it seems as if he's gonna head towards Christopher Daniels. Here comes the man screwed out of the NXT title last week. The man who has taken a darker turn over recent weeks, and with what we saw last week, that dark turn could really start becoming an even faster transition of the Undertaker. He heads out towards the ring, still not with the most positive reaction from the NXT audience. So clearly, this change of the Undertaker and his attitude not welcomed by fans. But at the same time, you kind of have to feel a little bit of sympathy for the Undertaker. Whether or not he can feel sympathy is a different question altogether. But the Undertaker was full on screwed out of that NXT title last week when he had Sabin down for the tombstone and was ready to beat him. The lights come on in the arena now, and Christopher Daniels has to be potentially trying to find a way out of this tent, trying to find a way to run away. Or will he try and fight the Undertaker, look like the noble competitor that he is? Has Sabin told him that if Taker is in the arena, you make sure to try and weaken him. Make sure that he won't get his hands on the NXT champion. Who knows? Who knows what kind of games they've got playing there in that group. But the Undertaker set to put his hands on Christopher Daniels now. If I was Daniels, I would be very worried. I might even look for a DQ and just get out of there as quickly as I can. Here goes the Undertaker with some strikes, though. Right to Daniels to get this one underway. You know that Daniels is going to be dealing with a very pissed off Undertaker. Perhaps an Undertaker that we haven't seen before. I don't know. And, that's the thing about Undertaker. You don't know how he's going to treat a situation until really it's too late. Taker going after Daniels right now from the off DDT. What will he do to Christopher Daniels now? He's just, stomping on the head of Daniels as the Undertaker continues. Look at this. The Undertaker just grounding him right off the bat, giving him no time to recover. Daniels has to try and fight back on his own accord here. And he's lifted the Undertaker up in the air. Oh, for a hefty backbreaker. But Taker catches that boot. It's a dragon screw. Might try and look to almost dislocate his leg with that dragon screw maneuver. Undertaker now going to see some sort of suplex maybe. Up in the air. And down goes Daniels. Daniels, though, successfully moving out of the way of that one. Doesn't move out of the way of the rest of them. And there's Undertaker showing off his athleticism as he chokes Daniels with his boot in the corner. Daniels just dropping down to the bottom turnbuckle as he gets stomped on by the Undertaker. Still fighting back, however. Got to admit, it is valiant for Christopher Daniels to be fighting back as he is. Oh! Caught him almost at the side of the head there. Undertaker just unloading with strikes onto Daniels, just focusing on the head, really trying to soften that up. Went for a diving clothesline there and misses it. Good dodge by Daniels now, who has to look to try and get something going against Undertaker here. There's a reversal. Oh, and Undertaker's got the arm. Looks like we're going old school. Christopher Daniels at this moment must be begging for Bram and Sabin to come out and save him. There's old school by the Undertaker. Rule number 1 of professional wrestling. Don't mess with the Undertaker. Choke slam! And the Phenom looks set for another win here. Undertaker with a dominant performance here over Christopher Daniels. And you know that next in line, surely, in Undertaker's mind, has to be Bram. There's the 3. There's the win for the Undertaker. And his objective, or something along those lines, to closing down on getting his hands once again on Chris Sabin, has to be getting nearer and nearer. One more man to go through, and then it's just if Sabin will choose to fight him or not. Undertaker celebrates his win here. Well, he doesn't celebrate his win. He kind of just walks around the ring. Might be trying to look out for Sabin or Bram. He should know that they're up next. If Undertaker stays around long enough, he could have his hands on the NXT champion by the end of the show. The lights go out and Undertaker in his signature pose. Just who knows what's going through the Undertaker's mind right now. Who knows what he's got plotted out next. The master of mind games that is the Undertaker. I would be very worried now if I was Bram and Sabin. Especially seeing as I'm up next against, against a kind of a formidable challenge. I don't really know what to say about Rick Rude. He won the NXT Championship. He wasn't pinned when he lost it, but it was a bit shocking in the first place that he was NXT Champion, let's be honest. But Rick Rude heading towards the ring right now, getting ready for this action. And surprise, surprise! Bram and Sabin, from wherever they came out, it might have been the crowd, I don't know, the feed cut before I could pay attention to what was going on, and now look at this. Rick Rude didn't even have time to finish his entrance. His robe's still on around him as this matchup gets underway. Here we go, the NXT Champion against the former NXT Champion. That robe might be used against him there as Sabin and Bram now. On Bram at ringside, and Sabin looks to try and get to work on Rick Rude. Oh, clattering down him there and kissing his robe. Good job. Sabin though rolls out of the way. He's a week removed from that match he had with the Undertaker, but you got to imagine there's still some sort of lasting effect to that match. It's safe to say that for the majority of that match he was dominated by the Undertaker, and Bram getting himself intervened in this matchup now. He knows he can't get involved physically though, as it'll be a disqualification and a win for Rick Rude. Into the barricade there goes Rick Rude. Reversal again on the outside. Just a little bit of a brawl between these two right now. And another clattering strike to send him down. Sabin and Bram just watch on, forcing, and finally, someone's able to get the robe off Rick Rude, and Bram forces Rude back into the ring there. Kind of doing the dirty work for Chris Sabin in one aspect. Rude with a counter though, but it's Sabin here. Sabin has to try and get this matchup done as quickly as possible. He knows the Undertaker could be in this arena, and he knows he's got to get out of Dodge as soon as possible. However, will Rick Rude look to try and cause an upset here, look to try and beat Sabin, or will he look to try and have this matchup go on as long as possible so the Undertaker can have his way with Chris Sabin? Oh, what an uppercut though by the leader of this mysterious group. Is a step up into Guri now by Sabin. Rick Rude just trying to crawl there for a second, and Sabin just completely denying him the opportunity to. What are we going to see now? He's down on the mat. Rick Rude in trouble. Sabin, diving fist drop, and the ravishing one is busted open. Sabin looks to take flight here, maybe. Big splash there. As if he was trying to aim for the head. Well, those strikes there, they're kind of dazing Rick Rude, but they're not doing a big job on him in a way. They're kind of just almost grazing him. Up in the air, looking for a stalling suplex, maybe. No, it's Sabin with a counter. And a hefty back suplex. Rick Rude has been in trouble here. I mean, the sneak attack may have benefited Sabin immensely in this matchup, and it may be the reason why he could be closing in on the win. Rude, staggered and dazed on his feet. Chris Sabin with the cradle shock. Down onto Rick Rude. 1, 2, 3. As quick as that, Chris Sabin defeats the former NXT champion. I know we got a bit lucky with getting out of Dodge last week, but it has to be said that Chris Sabin is doing a good job right now as NXT champion. He's a strong champion, and with these three on his side, these two members on his side, he could find a way to fight off the vast majority of NXT. Anything can happen, and we'll see what is going to happen maybe in the future weeks to come on this show. But for now, that ends NXT. That'll end this episode of Universe, and well, thank you guys for this year. I hope you, it's a kind of a random thing to say at the end of this episode, but I hope you all enjoy your Christmas. And yes, we'll be back on Boxing Day for Monday Night Raw. But that ends this episode of Universe. Thank you guys for watching. Have a Merry Christmas. Take care, guys, and ta-ra.